close with a
Pretty bad.
filter on.
Yeah.
And today.
My allergies were okay. We're on. Welcome to the regular meeting of Brisbane Planning Commission. Today is Tuesday, October 10th, 2017, and we are meeting at Brisbane City Hall. I call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Anderson?
Present.
Commissioner Cunningham?
Present.
Commissioner Mackin?
Present.
Commissioner Manier?
Here. Before we start, I'd like to have a moment of silence for victims of Las Vegas and Santa Rosa fire. This was a really devastating fire, and I think our area also is kind of vulnerable to that kind of a tragedy. So we have to be very, very careful with any kind of fire source. So a couple of minutes of silence. Now we move on to the adoption of agenda. Anyone wants to make any changes to the agenda?
Nope.
This is the chance. No?
Should we
Nothing?
move at this juncture to defer our new business since we have no one in the audience?
Through the chair, we would want to take action on that. We have a member of the commission who has to recuse themselves, so
Right.
wait till we get to that.
We'll get to that item
All right.
and we can do that. So may I have the, anyone no objection that we want to make a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda of Tuesday, October 10th, 2017.
And
As
I'll second that.
okay, Ms. Cunningham seconded, so all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. We have the one item on the consent calendar. The items that are listed as a consent calendar are considered routine and will be acted upon collectively by one motion adopting the planning department's recommendation unless a member of the public, the commission, or its staff asks to remove an item to discuss it. Prior to the motion, the chairman will ask if anyone wishes to remove an item from the consent calendar. Anyone wants to remove the item from the consent calendar? No? Okay, so we have the one item which is the approval of draft action minutes of September 12th, 2017 regular meeting. Any changes, anything that anyone wants to bring it up?
I have no changes.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the draft action minutes.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the draft action minutes of September 12th, 2017.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And oral communication, at this time, anyone in the audience? We really have a full house here, a lot of people, so this is your chance to speak before the before the commission. I see none, and we move on to written communication. I got this one here, this Housing Leadership Council. All of you have that, and it seems like a pretty good thing to attend. So it's in San Mateo, I guess, huh? Friday, October 20th. So, is there any cost involved, you guys know? Or let's see.
$80 general
$80.
admission, $65 for members.
Is it possible to get some money for anyone who wants to go to the?
Yes, anybody will just get a hold of Julia and let them know and let her know, and we can arrange that.
Okay, so you have the option to go and attend. So Julia will be contacted. Okay. Now we move, and I also have another written correspondence which has to do with the new business, which is next in our item. So I will defer that to that item. But the new business public hearing, 805 Sierra Point Road, R1 residential district. Unfortunately, I'm within the realm of influence circus, or whatever they call that circle. So I had to excuse myself, and I give this to you.
Do you really have to leave the room even though we're going to spend 1 minute?
Yes.
All right, very good. All right then, continuing on with the new business of the public hearing of 605 Sierra Point Road. Seeing no one in the audience, I will not call
Hang
for.
on, 6:05?
It says 805
8:05.
on the,
670 Sierra Point, 8:05.
What?
I have 805 Sierra Point. I don't know if that's correct.
What are you reading from? The agenda says 805 Sierra Point Road.
The letter also says 805 Sierra Point Road. Yeah.
The address is 805 Sierra Point
Yeah,
Road.
that's the only address I see is 805
Okay.
Sierra Point Road.
Sorry.
And Commissioner Meneer also mentioned the letter from Teresa Camarada, who, among other things, asked for the commission to defer action on the proposed variant request until the owners of 805 Sierra Point Road has offered to meet and discuss this project with me. I have a question of staff. If we weren't already in the position of deferring this meeting, I was wondering if there were any limitations or requirements on the commission in terms of addressing requests such as this from a neighbor.
No, I mean, you can always entertain a request for continuance. There are certain time limits by state law upon which you need to act on applications, and if you were approaching a time limit, we would certainly advise you as to whether or not that such a request would comply or not comply. I also want to point out, make sure you got it, you also got another piece of correspondence from the applicant requesting the continuance from a Jimmy Lei, L-E-I, the owner. And so actually the owner has also requested a continuance this evening.
Okay, I don't see that.
Just printed it up before the hearing.
All right.
Is that
All right.
there?
Yeah,
You don't have it either?
no.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Well, for the record,
Oh, I apologize. I thought.
there's a letter
Yes.
from the applicant also requesting a continuation. So since the applicant is unable to attend tonight, could I have a motion to defer this item? And
I will make a motion to continue this
October.
application to the next scheduled meeting of
24th.
for-
October 24th.
I'll second the motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, I guess we can call Commissioner Meneer back in.
Yes, it was.
It was very short.
We made a decision very quickly.
Okay, I'm back again.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Commissioner Anderson. And now we move on to the next item, item H, any items
May-
initiated by staff.
May I first just ask a question from staff? Does Mr. Lay know that this is continued to the very next meeting we have?
Yes.
Okay,
He
thank you.
specifically requested the 24th.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
I have three things. One, as you're meeting in here, the city council is meeting in the city hall conference room, interviewing planning commission candidates. So we may or may not have a fifth member appointed sometime in the foreseeable future. So I want you to be aware of that. And then two other items. One is the appeal on the senior apartments on San Bruno is scheduled for this Thursday night at City Council. And then next Monday night, the public hearing on Parkside is scheduled before the council as well. So those are the items I had.
thank you. Okay, items initiated by the commission. Anything you want to bring it up, any of you?
Just relative to what's going on in Northern California right now with our fires, there's been a lot of people within our community, excuse me, who are organized with, various groups, Red Cross, various religious groups, whatever, to take donations to these people and help in any way we can. I don't know if there's any way we can facilitate kind of making that a little more
think
organized, but
I
it would
think
be
in
great.
next door, there are some people.
Well,
there-
there's a lot of different groups, that's what I'm saying.
that, yeah.
I'll look into that, talk to the city manager about, is there any opportunity on the website to
Yeah.
provide some information, clearinghouse?
Because today there were 3 or 4 different groups through the Mothers of Brisbane, just on the Residents of Brisbane Facebook page. Jamil said on Nextdoor, and various groups who were involved or had families who were affected up there, who have connections with groups who are taking donations. It'd be really nice if we could maybe coordinate it a little bit.
Yeah,
That'd
we'll
be
look into
awesome.
that, definitely.
Thanks.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, anybody else wants to say anything? Okay, I just want to bring, go ahead.
I would just add to what Commissioner Cunningham said, GoFundMe campaigns do not necessarily assure the funds are going to the intended
Correct.
recipient.
Yeah.
So please be really careful donating to those. Thank you.
I normally go with the safe bet. Most of the time, I will go with Red Cross or some agency like that, and you know, something that we have a track record that most of the money goes to the victims. I have one item that I want to just bring it up, and that has to do with the SB 167, and there are a lot of concerns regarding that. So. John, is it possible for you to update us in the next meeting, or maybe clear a little bit as to what this entails? Your desire, if you want to do it tonight.
Well, just for the sake of all the commissioners who may not know all the legislation numbers, SB 167 was a bill that was passed in the last legislative session, signed I think in September by the governor, and it's related to housing kind of streamlining, sort of processing. So yeah, we can certainly give you a very brief, something probably from the city attorney, a very brief summary of the bill and its relevance to Brisbane.
To your knowledge, what's the position of the city? Is there any position being discussed with the city attorney or anything as to what, because there is a confusion here. Some people think that it's all done deal. We have no say, but you know, I don't know, because this is a new bill and we really don't know what the.
Well, the bill is certainly passed. If you have a more specific question, like for example, the Baylands and whether that applies to the Baylands, that's certainly something that, to my understanding, no, it does not apply to the Baylands, but certainly that would be what the city attorney could opine on that.
So at this point, our position is that doesn't apply to Bayland, so it's not automatic, the approval of the housing.
That would be my understanding to date, but I would certainly hesitate to put a final word, but I'd leave that for the city attorney to opine.
Okay, so maybe in the next meeting, if you can bring city attorney, that would be good, because it's for everybody's sake. We want to know what's going on exactly, rather than listening from legislature. Or I want to know what the city's position is on this
Sure.
whole thing. Thank you, John. And any other items anyone wants to bring? Okay. So this was really a short meeting, kind of a record, right? Probably.
Did you
And-
want to let the crowd in that's standing outside?
Yeah, big crowd over there. So
Oh,
then,
the door was locked.
okay. So next item is, next one is adjournment to the regular meeting of October 24th, 2017 at 7:30 p.m.
Make a motion to adjourn to the regular meeting of October
Fourth.
24th at 7:30 p.m.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Very good.
And